Homeostasis refers to the relatively stable state inside the body of an animal. Animal organs and organ systems constantly adjust to internal and external changes in order to maintain this steady state. The learning objectives for this lesson are to explain the concept of homeostasis and to describe thermoregulation of endothermic and ectothermic animals. Homeostasis is the relatively stable state inside the body of an animal. Animal organs and organ systems constantly adjust to internal and external changes in order to maintain this steady state. Examples of internal conditions maintained homeostatically are the level of blood glucose, body temperature, blood calcium level. For example, if the blood glucose rises, this sends a signal to organs responsible for lowering blood glucose. The signals that restore the normal levels are examples of negative feedback. When homeostatic mechanisms fail, the result can be unfavorable for the animal. Homeostatic mechanisms keep the body in dynamic equilibrium by constantly adjusting to the changes that the body systems encounter. Even an animal that is apparently inactive is maintaining this homeostatic equilibrium. The goal of homeostasis is the maintenance of equilibrium around a specific value of some aspect of the body or its cells, which is called the set point. The stimulus is a change in the internal or external environment and is detected by a receptor. The response of the system is to adjust the activities of the system so the value moves back toward the set point. When a change occurs in an animal's environment, an adjustment must be made so that the internal environment of the body and cells remain stable. The receptor that senses the change in the environment is part of a feedback mechanism. The stimulus is detected by the receptor. The receptor sends information to a control center, often the brain, which relays appropriate signals to an effector organ that is able to cause an appropriate change, either up or down, depending on the information the sensor was sending. In thermoregulation, animals can be divided into two groups: those that maintain a constant body temperature in the face of differing environmental temperatures, and those that have a body temperature that is the same as their environment and thus varied with environmental temperature. In ectotherm animals, the body temperature of these organisms is generally similar to the temperature of the environment. The individual organisms may do things that keep their bodies slightly below or above the environmental temperature. These can include burrowing underground on a hot day or resting in the sunlight on a cold day. The ectotherms have been called cold-blooded animals, a term that may not apply to an animal in the desert with a very warm body temperature. Endotherm refers to an animal that maintains a constant body temperature in the face of environmental changes. These animals are able to maintain a level of activity that an ectothermic animal cannot, because they generate internal heat that keeps their cellular processes operating optimally even when the environment is cold. Worksheet 1.1. Based on the diagram in the screen, write the following. 1. The stimulus for a raise in body temperature. 2. The response for a raise in body temperature. 3. the set point for a rise in body temperature. 4. The stimulus for a decrease in body temperature. 5. The response for a decrease in body temperature. And 6. The set point for a decrease in body temperature.